are again, Roy, and
Yes.
we finally managed it to get back into the seats
Yes,
again.
it's been so busy. I haven't had a chance to do a thing.
You have been really, really, really busy. I've been doing nothing.
Ach, away.
No, I never.
I don't
do
believe
anything.
that.
Well, that's true. You know, I mean, just don't want to sit here and bum and blow about it. But no, you had a rough time there with all the work.
It was enjoyable too, but
I
it
know.
was very busy.
I know you enjoy
We're-
it, but you know.
We're getting ready for the convention here,
Mm-hmm.
and if anybody would like to see any of that,
Right.
it's all available on the Keswick at Port Stewart. If you put that in on your computer, and it says virtually, and you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can watch.
The whole thing.
You watch the whole thing.
So there you are, folks. If you want to see what Roy was at for 3 or 4 weeks, would it have
Oh,
been,
it
Roy?
was a good 4 weeks. It was.
You know, non-stop. You can always catch up with him on, where did they type in, Roy?
Keswick at Port. It's KESWICK
Yeah.
at Port Stewart.
We do have a funny way of saying that, don't we, over here?
Yeah, well, we say Keswick, which is correct. That's the way that people say it over
Is
in
that
England.
right?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Keswick is not the way you say it. It's a silent W.
Oh, I
A
say.
silent W.
I say. Well, you see, me being, you know, well skilled and everything, I say.
You knew that, yes.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, actually I didn't. Because I would have been driving down past and I would have been saying, Keswick,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, that,
That was one of the first jobs Mildred and I did when we went to work over in Eastbourne in England. 1973. That was travelling up from Eastbourne on the south coast right away up to Keswick, which was about 400 miles.
my goodness.
And that we did all the PA and the
Yeah.
recording and everything for the convention at that time up in Cumbria.
That's some number of years, Roy.
It's nearly
You know.
50. It's 40.
Well, you see, I think once you
48.
reach 50, like you are now, you know what I mean, you should
50
take
years,
it.
you mean?
You should be taking it a wee bit easier.
Well, I should be maybe, but I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, I know, but
You
the
know,
thing is,
when you enjoy doing something that you feel the Lord has called you to do, it's so enjoyable to do
I
that.
know, I know.
It can be tough, all right, but
After it's all over, do you just sort of,
yes,
that's it, you know?
As I get older, I'm getting more of the
The gasp's getting bigger.
indeed.
But anyway, now that that's all over and you have a bit of, well, I'm going to say has a bit of free time. He never has free time.
Well, it's not too bad because I've been doing Eric and Yvonne's program
Yes.
as well, and they're going to take August off. They're not going to make any programs for the month, so I think we'll maybe try and relax for a month.
Well, it wouldn't do any harm.
You know.
Eric and Yvonne, are they going away? Or are they just...
No, the family have come over to see them.
Oh, isn't that fantastic?
They've had Carol and Andrew and their children have come over. They run a church in near Edinburgh, so they've been over, and then Emma and her husband, a little girl, they're over as well. They live in Oxford. Emma's a very talented young lady. She actually
Not many of us left, Roy.
she is a lecturer, I think, at Oxford University.
Right.
So.
Goodness. This is, of course, the Reverend Eric Stewart we're talking
That's
about,
right.
and his wife Yvonne and the family.
Yes.
Their programs are going out. It's every week he does his program.
They've been doing
right?
doing one every week since we've started doing the video ones. Again, they have a website which is called CFM Ireland, Christian Faith Ministries Ireland.
Right.
So all the programs that they have made, if anybody want to have a look at them, you'll just have to go onto that website and you can see right back to the earliest ones we've made.
And this again is a lot more Roy's technology.
Yes, well,
Isn't that right?
that's right. I like to work behind the scenes more. I'm not a great one for doing this sort of thing.
Oh, well, it's a bit like Cecil, isn't it, really? He does try, Roy. He really does try.
I know.
He's trying so much.
Oh, I know.
And I mean, he
he's
is trying.
trying.
Yes. I better not say too much because,
You've got to lift home.
But anyway, we had a brilliant time the last time we were
did.
here.
It was super.
And we had brilliant views,
Yes.
you know, on the programme.
And thanks everybody for
Absolutely.
the good comments we've had.
We had beautiful comments. And, of course, Mildred, who was singing on it,
Yes.
got beautiful, beautiful comments and lots of texts about her singing. And isn't it wonderful, Roy, whenever she was on singing, you know, people were writing in and saying, I haven't seen Mildred
For
in
years.
years. And somebody else, I think it was Mervyn, someone that's maybe on one of the other programmes, who writes saying, Mervyn Hannah, would it be?
Yes.
And he was saying that his wife, she must be a singer because you must have done the CD and all with her. So it's lovely when all those people come out. You know, it really is a small world, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It is.
And yet here we are sitting in Northern Ireland. We Northern Ireland.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it's going all over the world. And technology is wonderful, really.
That's right.
It allows us to do that.
That is right. And there were a lot of things mentioned, you know.
Yeah.
And things that even brought our own memories back,
Very much so. Very much so.
And maybe different churches that people had gone to and maybe had seen some of them.
Yeah.
There, it was really lovely. So there were a few people wanting to know when the next one was coming out.
Hopefully this one goes out before too long.
Well, there was only one thing, Roy, and I mean, I'm going to have to say it because I think it was annoying Ozzy Wallace.
Oh dear.
Ozzy knows I'm a very quiet person anyway.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And was I doing too much talking?
Well, he said, you know, Roy never really kept quiet, Liz, to let you speak. I think you did that before in the last book.
Oh dear.
I think Ozzy was sitting at home thinking, why is Roy there? Because she never's quiet. Never. But
no, I did a lot of talking on the last one, far too much.
A lot of nonsense. Well, maybe I could have done a bit more, but I'm not going to say. Well, I must tell you, Roy, I was in great form today.
Good.
Well, it wasn't.
This isn't sarcastic, is it?
Not at all. Not right at the start. I wasn't just in great form, so I texted Martin.
Right.
And I said, I could do with a wee joke. Do you have any wee jokes you could send down? So he wrote back, not just at the minute, he says, I'm very busy, but I'll text you later.
I thought you were going to say Margaret's not free just at the moment. I should cut that bit out.
Never worry. So that's what he said, I'm very, very busy at the minute, but I'll text later. Well, I was in stitches, Roy, and I wrote back, I said, I needed that was a great joke, you know, telling me he was busy. You know what I mean? So anyway, I still haven't heard the joke, so...
All right, well, we'll have it for the next time then, maybe.
Well, something else I was listening to was actually looking up, but you look as if you're bored, Roy.
Hello?
Am I boring you?
At the minute?
Aye. Oh, am I really?
I didn't think I looked too bad. I was trying to be nice and cheerful.
Well, I'm going to make you even more cheerful now. Anyway, I was reading through something on YouTube. And do you know the Marx Brothers? Would you be familiar with them? Well, I didn't know that.
Groucho?
Yes. Yeah. Who does he mind you of?
I can't think.
That's just a dead giveaway now, isn't it? So anyway, I was just reading about them, and I didn't know they had a sister.
All right, okay.
Anya.
Get set.
Do you know it's wonderful the people I tell that to and say, is that right? And what did she do? Was she in, Anya Marks?
Get set.
So, well,
surely the programme's not over already, is it?
Well, maybe people out there are saying, I hope so. But anyway, let's see what else I have to say, Roy, because when you get started, I maybe wouldn't.
But this is it, you forget.
Then another one of my wee secrets out. Where to say? So we thanked everybody for their texts and things. And another thing too, Roy, you know yourself, we were to have other people here for the interviews.
Yes.
And I don't know, we must have some sort of, what would you say, well, nothing really works out terribly well, does
Well,
it?
it hasn't yet. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Hasn't yet.
Well, I've been speaking to, well, I spoke to Nell. Nell rang me, and then I tried to get her back, and I couldn't get her back, so I left a message.
Right.
So then Nell rang me back.
Yes.
She couldn't get me, so she left a message.
Uh-huh.
So I think in between times Nell had been speaking to you.
Sure, that's right.
So she rang me again, couldn't get me again, so she left the message. So I thought, right, okay, I better ring Nell back. So I rang Nell again, couldn't get her, left a message.
Yes.
So you talk about now you're talking. I think we better say now you're leaving a message.
But you have to talk to leave a message.
Well, that's true. That's true. I always seem to be talking to answer phones. But anyway, still haven't got her. She did ring back again. She says, Liz, I know you've been ringing me twice. Yeah. And she said, I'm just trying to get you now, but I'll speak again.
Yes, indeed.
And we're still...
We'll get there.
We're still trying to get there. And then Mildred, she's so busy at the minute as well.
That's right, so...
And she had an awful lot... She's as busy as you, Roy.
She does a lot now.
Doesn't she really?
She does.
You know, big demands.
Yes.
There's a big, big demand. So if you're ever trying to get any of the rainies, you know, you would need a diary to book on ahead.
We'll not get into that.
Well, I'll give you their number anyway. Try your best is all we can say. There's another wee man I was talking to during the week, Roy. And do you know Derek?
Yes, of course.
Derek
Ross.
He said that sometimes people call him DJ.
Oh.
And
well, if they called him DR, it would make him a doctor, wouldn't it?
Well, that's true.
Isn't it amazing how quick my mind works? I hadn't even pre-thought that.
Sorry about this. I mean, that's really So Derek was down with us, and you know, Seth is learning the computer.
Yes.
And at 70, you know,
yes,
this is very new for him. But to give credit where credit's due, if you're ever looking for anybody to teach the computer, send for Derek.
He's the man.
He's fantastic. He could teach a wee baby how to use a computer. But anyway, he was Seth was writing something out, you know, in the computer the other day, and he had stuck in an extra E, you know.
Yes.
And he couldn't understand why it wouldn't work. So Derek looks over, he says, Cecil, I think you have an extra E in there. And Cecil says, oh, so I have. And Derek looks at me and he says, he's just having a bad spell. You know? But he's really, really good, Roy.
Good.
For anybody that wants to learn.
Because it's not easy taking up something like that later in life.
It certainly is not.
You know, because your mind doesn't automatically think that way. I mean, the kids now, like, goodness sake, they're at no size at all. They're at the phones.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. When I have the grandchildren, you know, at the weekend, I never have my phone. You know, they always want the phone. It's not mine at the weekend. Well, Tia said to me the other day, Granny, I said, what, darling? She says, I'm getting a phone.
Oh.
I says, are you? She says, yes. And I says, does Mummy know? Yes. And I says, have you told her? Well, not really. And I says, well, I think you'd be better letting her know if she has to write a wee letter to Santa Claus. You know, but that, I mean, only 5.
I know.
And that's what they're
that's
looking
the sort of
for
thing
Christmas.
they want. Yeah.
You know, it's just unbelievable. You know, I would say at 5. I remember we did have a phone in the house when I was about 5. Of course, that's not that long ago, was it? Really?
No, well, that's what I'm thinking. You say I was thinking about when I got a phone when we got a phone in our house.
What age were you, Roy?
I would have been, I think, about 10 or 11.
Right.
At that stage, because I remember that one of the first things I did was rang up my friend from school whose dad was a doctor, so they had a phone in the house.
Oh,
because there were so
righty-ho.
few people had phones.
Had phones, that's
But
right.
my dad, you see, was a painting contractor,
Yes.
so he got the phone so that people could get in touch with him about coming to see work for them and so on. Because in those days, it was only the moneyed people who could afford to have a painter to come to the house to
Oh, I say.
paint for them, you see.
Oh, I say.
They didn't do it themselves.
No, well, that's the thing.
You know.
That's the thing. We're still doing ours ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we still can't afford it, Roy. Have you got that man's number? See if oh, no, that was your
my
father.
dad. But I remember, as I say, that I think I probably even told you before, that was a shared line.
Oh,
It
yes.
actually had to be shared with the people next door.
Yes.
So if you went to make a call and lifted the phone and heard somebody talking, the neighbours were on there, so you had to set it down again.
Set it down,
wait till they
right.
were finished.
Aye.
And then it was all dialed.
That's right.
And then you got through to the exchange and they said, number please.
Well, I don't know about the age group of the people who are listening in, but I'm sure there's a lot out there who still remember
Oh, yes.
that.
Yes.
Or even at least have seen it on films,
Yes, that's true.
you know, on the
That's
TV.
true.
But I do remember having the phone. I must have been about 5, and my mother had gone out,
Yeah.
and my older brother was in the house. He would have been about maybe 7,
Yeah.
8. And we came back in again, and she said to him, "Did anybody call? Did anybody phone?" So she says, what did they say? They left a message. And she said, "Well, what was the message?" "I don't know. They just left a message."
I'm thinking back now, the first phones didn't have the dial on them at all.
No. Oh, you mean the wee...
No, it would look like, you remember the ones that had the dial on the front of them?
Yes.
Well, if you could visualize that without a dial on it, you just lifted the handset and put it up to your ear and you waited, and then the operator came to you and said, what number do you want, basically? So the operator had to actually plug your thing into whoever you were trying to call.
Right.
And of course, when the dial ones came in, that was fantastic. What? You don't have to speak to the operator? You know?
Well, funny you should say that, because maybe we were out some days for a walk, and if there's any police listening in, it wasn't me. It was, but I have to pretend it wasn't. And we used to love it, you know, whenever we go out. But, we were bad. We used to get in the phone box, Roy, and you knew the way you could have dialed the operator, or 191, was it?
999, was it?
That was the place, I wouldn't dare do that. But we used to go and we used to say, "You better get off the line, there's a train coming." You know, and I'm sure if those operators had got us by the neck. But you know, but when you think about it then too, you know, the things that you did do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I suppose we didn't see any harm in it, really.
I know.
The operator might have, but...
So they were probably fed up with it, I would think.
Well, then the other thing is too, do you remember the telephone kiosk?
Yes.
You still actually do see some of them.
Yes. I don't know, do they work now? I mean, I know that some villages and so on have turned them into wee libraries and things like that, you know?
Library.
Yes.
Many books would you get in a kiosk?
Well, they have it shelved, you see, and and it's like an honesty thing. You go and you can just borrow one and take it away and read it and then bring it and put it back in again.
I see.
There's all sorts of things going on.
I suppose, you know, those things are always nice to have, and you know, whenever the children are growing up and they come and say to you, "What is that?" You know, you realise then that the age is there.
Prehistoric.
There's a lady goes on to Facebook, is it Joy Richmond? And hi Joy. And she's brilliant at bringing up, you know, all the old stuff.
Yes.
You know, that we used to use.
Were you born in the 50s and 60s, or was that the one? Is that the one?
Oh, she brings up, and you know, even the old twin tubs, and even before that it was, you know, the washboard and things like that. And I'm saying, oh my goodness, I remember that, you know. And she's bringing up all this stuff, even, you know, maybe stuff we had eaten, you know, way back and things like that. But it's good to see it, you know, and think back and things like that.
But you wouldn't want to be back living with those things now when you when you know what all the new ones do for you.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes now I think things are moving too fast for me.
Well,
you know. Wrong answer, Roy.
I'm going to say nothing.
Wrong answer, Roy. You're supposed to say, yes, of course not. You're so bright and intelligent, you pick everything up so quickly. I'll say it for him.
Thank you very much.
He's not for saying, the right way of the things at all. That's actually choking because you wouldn't say that nice thing to me.
I'll maybe play a bit of music and then I can cut that bit out.
I'll put it back in again for you. Don't worry a thing about it. Right. Are we going to have Mildred today?
We are.
Do you know there's so many requests for her to be singing again on this programme, Roy? So I think we'd be best giving the people what they want.
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right.
To Jesus every day I find my heart is closer drawn. He's fairer than the glory of the golden purple dawn. He's all I could imagine in my fairest dreams and more. Each day he grows still sweeter than he was the day before. The half cannot be fancied this side the golden shore. Oh, there he'll be still sweeter than he ever was before. His glory broke upon me when I saw him from afar. He's fairer than the lily, brighter than the morning star. He fills and satisfies my longing spirit o'er and o'er. Each day he grows still sweeter than he was the day before. The half cannot be fancied this side the golden shore. Oh, there he'll be still sweeter than he ever was before. My heart is sometimes heavy, but he comes with sweet relief. He folds me to his bosom when I droop with blighting grief. I love the Christ who all my burdens in his body bore. Each day he grows still sweeter than he was the day before. The half cannot be fancied this side the golden shore. Oh, there he'll be still sweeter than he ever was before. The half cannot be fancied this side the golden shore. Oh, there he'll be still sweeter than he ever was before. There he'll be still sweeter than he ever was before.
Well, what about that?
Well, I'm a wee bit biased.
You are a wee bit biased, let me tell you. That was Roy's beautiful wife, Mildred, who in fact can do anything on this earth. She paints, Roy.
Yes.
She sings. She's a musician.
Yeah.
And actually we are going to have her.
We are.
Whenever.
Hopefully the next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's just so busy with so many things she has to do. But we're looking forward to, and I know lots of people out there are as well, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's good. Do you know, I think Roy, Mildred and myself would be very good at...
Getting you stopped is probably going to be the hardest bit for me.
But do we have to stop?
No, because I can just
Just let the camera run.
We can make 2 programs out of it.
I was just thinking now the number of years that I would know Mildred, you know, and sometimes the silly wee things that we do, you know.
Yep.
I know she's very serious about her work and very good at everything she does, but she does have a wee secret. When I go to bed at night and I can't sleep, and I write a little poem to Mildred,
yes.
and Mildred gets up in the morning and the first thing
back.
she sees is the thing, then the poem comes back again, and you know, it's so funny, it's so funny, and it's great, it just sort of, you know, I could be lying in bed writing away and giggling away, you know, but it's always great, you know, she's brilliant too. Of course she has written gospel songs and things
she has
too,
indeed, she has
you know,
indeed.
so that's another thing she's very good at. And your daughter.
Yes, Catherine's quite a musician as well, she is indeed.
I know big fans of hers as well.
Yeah, right.
So I do, and beautiful singer. And of course they're all, and you know, in the music line somewhere, aren't they?
Alan and Catherine, they're now pastoring the church over in California.
Yes,
you say, so
yes.
We haven't had a chance to get over to see them or anything like that.
Well, you know,
but
it's
you know,
a long journey.
with FaceTime on your iPad, you can sit and it's like talking to us. It's the two, like the two of us just talking together, you know.
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to contact them like that.
Do you know? I remember, I think it was one Sunday we were at church. You know, a way back. You know, whenever this just come out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I remember the minister saying his daughter, she had gone to university, and he said that morning she had contacted and phoned over, and you know, and within seconds there they were speaking to each other, looking at each other, and he says it's just unbelievable the way you know these things can happen and can be done. So you know, you talk about going back, although we had good old days.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
You know, we really did.
See, when you look back on those times, it's from the position of where you are now, which makes a thing look old-fashioned. But when we were in the middle of that, that was just the latest things they were.
That's right.
You know.
And I suppose we would have been more active then than what children are now, wouldn't we?
Yes, I think that's what they're really concerned about, the children now, is that they're not physically doing enough.
That's right. I mean, even, my goodness, if we had a skipping rope back then.
I know.
You know, every child in the whole estate were out, you know, they were all out there in this big line waiting to, you know, join in this skipping. Right. And, but we used to love all that.
I know.
You know, and...
I remember we used to play rounders.
Oh, fantastic.
I know.
Fantastic.
We'd go out on this. And I mean, we played on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were, maybe 50 houses on the street and 2 people had cars.
Uh-huh. You had plenty of freedom then, didn't
exactly. You could play away and there was never any bother. You could have played all evening. There wasn't a car come up the street.
That's right. And do you remember the other one, you know, the one where you hit the curb with the ball and it bounced back, and that was you scoring. But if it didn't, you know, Kirby or something, was it they called it?
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, you haven't lived, Roy.
Yeah, it must have been after my time.
Yes, one person stood at one side of the footpath and, you know, on the road, and then somebody stood at the other side. I'm sure everybody out there knows Roy's a wee bit slow when it comes to curb ball, so I'm just going to explain to him. And then if you'd have been standing at the other side, you see, I would have thrown the ball over.
Yes.
And if I managed to hit the curb, the ball bounced back. So that was me scoring one.
Yes, you got the ball back again.
I got the ball back again. So then whenever you did it, and if you hit the curb, that was it, then you had scored.
No,
and then...
No, don't remember that one.
Do you not really?
No, definitely not.
Oh, that was a good one.
Hopscotch was the other one we did quite a lot of.
Aye, that's right. Funny Tia was out the other day and she'd got chalk.
Right.
And she says, Granny, can I do this? But it's all different now, Roy. You just can't go out and chalk on the pavements now the way we used to do.
I know.
You know, you never even thought about it then.
No, not at all.
Sure, you didn't really.
No.
It was just a matter of...
In fact, parents encouraged you to do things like that,
Absolutely.
you know.
You know, and funny, I was saying too, you know the way the children are off school now.
Yes.
And when I was about 13, 12, 13, when I would get up in the morning, we had playing fields just on, through the state a bit and on down, where they had the football matches and things. But most of the week it was empty. And we gathered up all the youngsters, and took the ball out for the day. And we went down there. Well, they come up home maybe about 1 for a bit of lunch. And then they just all met again, and away we went. And I remember the lady saying to my mother, "Thank goodness for your daughter," because it was great. They never even had to worry about it. And the children were having so much fun,
Yeah.
You couldn't get them out the doors now the same way.
I know.
That is the only thing about it.
It's a wee bit depressing, is it?
I bet you Joy doesn't think so.
Probably
Joy
not.
will be going through that there now, and she'll be looking for a lot more stuff for us. Keep it going, Joy, because it's great. And do you know sometimes you put up with things and you are sort of studying it and thinking, what was that?
I know.
And so it's good.
Yeah,
it's good that that happens.
Yeah.
And
how long have we been talking anyway, Liz? Are we overdoing this, or what do you think? I don't know. I've lost track of the time.
So have I. This is what happens when you're having great
Well,
conversation.
this is it, you see. You just chat away, don't you?
But it's lovely that they were waiting on the next one coming in.
Yes,
right?
it is.
And that's what we were just saying too, that if people out there know someone who has a good story to tell and would like to hear it, and put onto YouTube with the rest. We actually never really got past your caravan, did we?
No, we didn't.
I think we're still in the caravan.
Still in the field there somewhere, isn't it?
We're definitely going to have to get that finished because, people will be saying, "What all happened to Roy after the caravan?"
Well, that was another story now.
It certainly was. Well, one thing, Roy, is there anything you feel, all through your life?
Yes.
And you have covered a lot through your life.
Yeah.
And great stories to look back on and all the things. Not only with yourself, but with your family.
Yep.
Yep. Is there anything that you can think of that you would have liked to have done, but never actually got round to doing it?
No, would you believe there's not? I've never looked back in sort of, I wish I had been able to do such and such a thing. Because I've always tried to say, Lord, what do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start thinking that way, I've always thought in terms of looking for in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Mm-hmm. So whenever you start thinking about something, I think sometimes that's the Lord putting an idea in your head.
Yeah.
Then somebody will come to you and say, did you ever think about doing such and such a thing? Aye, maybe,
There you are.
And then what I would always do, and what I've always done, is I've asked the Lord to give me a verse from the scripture that confirms it. Mm-hmm. Like when we were going to England that time, for instance, that was a big step in those days.
It certainly was. Mm-hmm.
And I remember he gave us a verse about where Abraham left his country and went to, and it just jumped out of the page at me that's what we were meant to actually go and leave our own country and move over to England. And the Lord has just led us on all those things that we've done. I'm trying, because I haven't sort of thought through things, but I'll think of some more for the next time. But I've always said though, look for in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Don't just assume that I'll just do what I feel like doing. Because when you go and do something that the Lord has told you to do, if there's difficulty comes down the line, you can always look back and say, well, I know the Lord told me to do this. And he'll see me through it.
That's right.
Instead of, oh dear, I've made a terrible mistake, what am I going to do now?
You have been, like, in your marriage and everything too, you and Mildred have both seemed to need and want the same things in life, haven't you?
We've always done that. Again, when we were leaving England, we joined up with Dick Saunders, and we were doing his work, and it meant that we could be but we didn't have to live in England anymore. And I got a word, and I felt that it was again the Lord had given me the word that we were to come back to Northern Ireland. And Mildred said to me, I shared it with her, and she says, I don't think that can be right. I said that would be like putting your hand to the plough and going back.
Yes.
And I remember I just thought in my mind, Lord, I'm going to say nothing more to her. Will you reveal to her? And I'll know. If you reveal it to her as well, I'll know it's the right thing for us to do. And about 10 days later, I remember her coming running out of the bathroom, and she says, you're right, love, we're meant to go back home. The Lord has just told me.
My goodness.
So, but we've never done anything where one of us was not in agreement with the other. Because when you're married, the scripture says you become as one flesh. So therefore, the Lord isn't going to tell one part of that one flesh to do something and the other part to do something different. Do you know what I mean? That's the way we've always tried to approach everything.
And I mean, really and truly, with your health and everything, and you've both, kept in like more than good health, really.
True, although I did share with you about Mildred's ill health.
Yes.
We were only just married at the time.
That's right.
That was a really difficult time.
That was a difficult time for you at that time. But since that, Roy, she's never looked back, has she?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
The two of you would both be very strong people
physically.
that way.
Praise the Lord, in many ways, I feel as fit as I've ever done. And, yes, you would probably tire a bit more quickly now. But then I think to myself, hold on. Eric Stewart was doing a program recently there about a lady from Ballymena, Minnie Maternahan, and she's 100.
She was just talking about her the other night.
Well, there you go. She was 100 there a couple of days ago. And Eric and I were talking, and he was saying about the number of people who've watched the program and they think it's wonderful and everything.
Yes.
And I said, Eric, I suddenly thought, that's me in 23 years' time.
That's right.
And what?
That is right. Funny you should say about Minnie Maternahan. Martin was down, and I don't even know why the subject come up, but he says, Edwin's mum, he says, is 100. I says, is she really? He said, aye, and he says, we're talking about Eric as well. And he says, Eric interviewed her.
Yes.
And we're talking all about that. Isn't that strange there? We just come to mention that today. But Martin used to work for Edwin, that's her son.
Right.
And I worked for Edwin until they actually closed, the shop. So, and whenever I was phoning Martin, at work, and if Edwin had answered the phone, and I says, hello, I said, is Martin's mum here? Could I speak to him, please? So, all the years that he was there, that was always how I had said who it was. And then this day, I phoned up, and I says, hello. Or I think maybe he had to ring my house for something. And I answered the phone, and he says to me, hello, this is Muriel's husband here. And I thought, what? But then it just dawned on me that was how I had always spoken to him. And it's silly really, because I should just have used my name.
Yeah.
But no, but then I sort of thought, it was the best way to remind me, you have a name of your own.
Indeed.
But it was funny. So she's 100. And
she's 100 indeed.
Yeah. So that's...
And there's another one that Desi Coffey has been getting me to do. Another lady she'll be 100 in just a few weeks' time now.
Right.
And her husband was a congregational minister. George Trimble, his name was. She's May Trimble.
Right.
And so we've done a whole. She did a whole video.
Oh.
And so we're going to be putting that out as well now.
Isn't that fantastic?
So, and I mentioned it to Eric, and he was saying, her husband married us.
Oh, my goodness.
So, but It's a small world.
It is a small world.
Now you're talking.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Really missed our opportunity there.
Well then, Roy, can these be seen on, if you go onto, is it YouTube or Facebook or?
Well, certainly the one with Minnie Maternahan is on one of Eric's programs quite recently. There was sometime in July. It's been gone out. I don't think last Sunday, maybe the week before. But again, if we go to that CFM Ireland, Christian Faith Ministries Ireland, and they can find all those programs to watch. You know.
Well, that's good because we can let the people know now.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's loads out there, especially around Ballymena, that know Minnie Maternahan. I'm sure they know Edwin and everybody else, that was in that business and that. So it's funny how everybody keeps coming back, for some reason.
Yeah, indeed.
But that was nice. Well, do you think, Roy, have we?
Well, we've maybe talked enough today, have we?
Well, you know me. I mean, I could talk for America, but I don't think America would be sort of
too impressed.
Well, Roy, you always give the wrong answers. He's in one of these moods today where all the wrong answers are coming out. But I'll sort them out later. I'll have to put the right answers into him. Yeah. Do you know, I was a bit vexed yesterday. You know I'm not out so much now,
Yeah.
But I was out yesterday. I had to go for my other wee injection.
Yes.
So when I go to the bother of going into the car, I sort of say to myself, well...
Might as well go for a wee drive.
I might as well go for... Well, I don't go for the drive because I can't drive.
No, well, I mean, Cecil brings you, doesn't it?
Aye. So anyway, come all the way down, and I thought, I'll just go out here and lie on the beach a wee while. So I lay down, and I was very vexed when this lifeguard come up, and they said, "Excuse me, madam, would you mind if we asked you to move? The tide wants to come in."
Oh dear.
Now, what do you think of that, Roy?
I don't believe a word of it.
My first day out in ages. And I says, well, that's it. I'll have to wait till another day when the tide's not ready.
Oh dear. Well, maybe we'd better say cheerio.
Especially if I'm trying to get down there to the beach before the tide's coming in.
Exactly so.
So,
do you want me to play another wee song of Mildred's then?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do that.
Absolutely. We will. Will we come back after Mildred has sang, or will we?
Oh, well, I suppose we could, couldn't we?
Well, we'll come back and say bye-bye.
All right. Okay.
Over to you, Mildred.
Here is love, vast as the ocean, loving kindness as the flood. When the Prince of Life our ransom shed for us his precious blood, who his love will not remember, who can cease to sing his praise. He shall never be forgotten throughout heaven's eternal days. On the mount of crucifixion, fountains opened deep and wide. Through the floodgates of God's mercy flowed the vast and gracious tide. Grace and love like mighty rivers poured incessant from above, and heaven's peace and perfect justice kissed a guilty world in love. Let me all your love accepting, love you ever all my days. Let me seek your kingdom only, and my life be to your praise. You alone shall be my glory, nothing in this world I see. You have cleansed cleansed and sanctified me. Savior, you have set me free. You alone shall be my glory. Nothing in this world I see. You have cleansed and sanctified me. Savior, you have set me free. You have cleansed and sanctified me. Savior, you have set me free.
She never fails, Roy.
No, she's great.
She never fails.
She's great.
So, I suppose that'll do us for another...
It'll do it for another wee while anyway, won't it?
Yes, and for anybody who has listened to all, especially Joy,
Yes.
Richmond there,
Yeah.
who finds all these... Now, don't land down with them, Joy,
Yeah.
whatever you do, because...
Just keep putting them on Facebook.
I keep putting them on Facebook, and we'll keep watching for them. And, you know, do you know another thing I see on Facebook, Roy, is beautiful flowers.
Yes.
People put up the
Yes.
most beautiful flowers. And people out like our own, you know, our own Northwest correspondent,
Of course.
Philip,
Yes.
and he's out and about, and beautiful, beautiful flowers and beautiful scenery and everything else. So it was really lovely, you know, because whenever you see our own wee country here, it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's fabulous.
Isn't it really?
Absolutely fabulous. It certainly
We just
is.
a wee weather button.
If we had a wee weather button, yes,
Wouldn't that be good?
it could be.
Could be.
But then, if we had too much dry weather, we wouldn't have the Emerald Isle.
Roy. You see, this is the sort of thing, when I bring it up, sometimes you're so quick, but you never think it out.
Oh, what did I say wrong that time?
Well, you were saying if we had the weather button and we hadn't enough rain, it rains at night.
Okay, but you're sleeping. How could you press the button?
Oh, we'll get a man to do that. Well, we get a man to do that. And...
That would be Cecil's job then, wouldn't it?
What?
We better say cheerio.
Oh, I think we better say cheerio before things get too complicated. We'll hopefully see you again.
Soon.
Soon. Right. And anybody that would like someone to come along and speak to Roy to teach them a wee bit of sense how to use the weather button, please get in contact. And anything else you want discussed, or any other people who would like to come on and tell their story,
yes.
I'll try and get Roy to sleep that day, because, you know, he'll be too busy thinking about the weather button. But we do look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you've enjoyed this programme, Roy.
So indeed.
And was there any sense in it at all?
Cheerio.
Okay. Bye.